Welcome back to another episode of Live Bold and Boss Up.
Ash and I here today. We're in our golf attire. If you can see us, we're taking some golf lessons today.
'Tis the season for
That's
golf
right.
tourneys.
There's so many coming up. I'm excited.
I am so excited. I really hope that we get better. We've done this like earlier in the year, and I don't know if we saw improvement, so we're going to try it again.
I was going to say speak for yourself.
Oh.
Because I feel like I've gotten a little bit. I say that, and then I'm going to, I know.
And yep.
But
It's all mental.
I've been feeling good the past few times I played.
Good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I need to get over, oh my God, we turned this into a golf conversation. Anyway, I'll pull out of that. I'll save that for another golf episode.
Yeah, we'll do a special golf episode.
What we really wanted to talk about was we've been noticing there's these workplace myths going around, and we figured we're going to debunk these myths. So
That's right.
We're going to talk about these 5 work myths and debunk them for you.
Let's do it.
All right. So the first myth, and this is like super timely because everyone's talking about quitting quietly, and it's okay to quit quietly, and people are doing this all over. What do you think about it, Steph?
Quitting quietly is not okay ever. You're either in it or you're not. Like, make up your mind. You can't just check out of something and still be there. Like, that's not like morally okay.
Right.
Should not be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. You shouldn't be able to, how are you there and not doing it or not in it? Isn't that obvious?
Yeah.
People have to see that.
Right. And that's a reflection on you.
Yeah, that's going to reflect super poorly on you. And that's a great way to get fired.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe
that's
you want to get
what
fired.
They're trying to do.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I'm just the type of person, like, no matter what I do, I'm going to give it 110% or I'm not going to do it.
Absolutely.
I feel like that's how you should be in everything in life.
Agreed. So quitting quietly is bogus. I think people shouldn't be doing it for sure.
Agreed. You're basically just quitting. You might as well just quit.
Just quit. Just put in your resignation. Take the high road.
Quit loudly.
Quit loudly.
I quit.
Could you imagine?
Okay, I don't recommend that either.
Right, exactly.
All right, what is next?
All right, the second myth in the workplace is companies having to remain fully remote to stay competitive. This is an interesting one.
We hear a lot from candidates, and I think they use it to get fully remote. But what we've seen now, like, people are coming back in the office. Like, our office is, we're pretty much in the office 90% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have to be remote. If there's someone that wants to be 100% remote, then bye. Then it's not a good fit.
Yeah.
So I don't think you have to be 100% remote. Some people have that team culture and that collaborative environment where they want people on site, and that's great.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think companies probably have to have more of a flexible hybrid schedule to be competitive. But then again, I've seen companies that still require everyone to come into the office, and they're still getting great candidates. They're still getting interest because, you know why? They have an awesome culture, and people want that face-to-face interaction. They want to connect with people.
Right. I do think it's good to allow for some flexibility. No one wants like a super rigid, you have to be there from 9 to 5 every day, no flexibility, unless it's like you're in the hospital or something and you have to. But if it's like a sales role or a role that you can do remotely, have them be in the office some of the time, most of the time, whatever your, culture is, but then allow for at least some flexibility so they don't feel trapped.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, companies having to remain fully remote to stay competitive, it's definitely a myth. You just have to have flexibility. I mean, certainly you could be remote and get great candidates, but you're only going to get those candidates that don't, that maybe aren't creating a particular culture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
So flexibility is key.
Flexibility is key.
I do like that. I like that hybrid and that flexibility piece
Yeah.
is like more known now. I think people are really appreciating that like work life integration,
Yeah,
you know?
I agree.
Yeah. All right. The third myth thing, and I'm not touching this with a 10-foot pole, but you can. This is all you. Diversity and inclusion
Well, I've heard a
in the
lot.
workplace.
Yes, obviously diversity and inclusion is a big topic and a very important thing right now, especially. It's I think a big focus is being put on it, which is good. I've heard a lot of myths, kind of both ways actually, in the sense that companies are really focusing on implementing diversity and inclusion policies, and then there's some that are kind of like trying to just go the opposite direction and hire for the person and not really focusing on that, which I feel like it should all be based on the person.
Yes.
It shouldn't matter what they look like, what sex they are, what physically, that nothing physically should be taken accounted for. It's all about the skills.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been a hot topic, and I
Yeah.
know it's kind of a touchy subject.
It's so touchy.
But I really feel, and I encourage companies to hire based on the skill set.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
may the best candidate win based on their skills and if they can do the job.
Right. And I mean, if you have a diverse workplace, it's actually better for the organization because you get different thought
Absolutely.
processes, right?
Yes.
Different ideas. So that's actually better for the business. And I will say, I feel like larger organizations have to do this a little bit more, right? Especially like public organizations. There's so much red tape and things that they have to do. So and that's where it kind of gets sticky for me, where I don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole because there's so many things around that.
Right.
Um but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it can be a positive thing if you look at it that
If it's
way.
done correctly.
If it's done correctly. Yeah.
Yes.
Whoa. All right, moving on because I don't like that one. Okay. This is another myth. I think it's a myth in the workplace right now that contract roles are hot. What
Right.
do you think about that?
Well, I feel like people want stability, people want benefits, people want to be in a permanent role, because they want to feel like they're part of an organization.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like contract rules will always be there, but I feel like perm is the way of the current situation.
Market. Yeah.
Right?
I definitely think that is a derivative of COVID, of those couple of years where there was so much uncertainty, and people were let go, right? And there was they really now want to feel secure. They almost have like PTSD
Right.
on not feeling secure and feeling needed or wanted. So there's like a whole shift now to where people want perm and they want to know the benefits and they want to know that they're cared for and appreciated.
Yeah.
So which in turn equals perm roles.
Yeah.
Although there's definitely still some people who prefer contract, but that's kind of how they roll, and
They're used to that.
they do
Yeah.
multiple contracts or whatever. It's more project based, and that's a little different, but majority of the market.
Right. And
Yeah.
maybe they don't need benefits, or maybe they like to travel or whatever. So
Mhm.
depending on the person, but we're definitely seeing more perm right
Mhm.
now.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's definitely debunked for sure. Okay, here's a super hot topic that I will touch. um, Surveys in the workplace, they always say that they're anonymous. Are they anonymous?
That's a great question.
Right? Nobody wants to answer those if you know who it's coming from, because you never know what the resolution's going to be.
Right. Like, what is the purpose of the survey? First, is it like testing, like, employee feedback on like the current company like culture or the management. Like, ooh,
Yeah.
I don't
Forget that.
know. I'd be a little like iffy if it's like, tell us how you think your managers are doing. You don't
Right.
want to bash them,
Right.
because first of all, you never know. Second of all, if there's places for comments, there's always ways to like, who do you think this is? And most of the times, I think you have to put your title in, or you have to put your level, years of experience. So it kind of narrows it down.
Right. They're going to, yeah. If you have to write something in a comment section, they could probably guess who it is, right?
Mhm.
Because
Right.
your style kind of adds in there, as opposed to
Mhm.
just picking, oh, 1 through 10 and leveling them on a number scale or something like that.
Right. I would
Yeah,
love to
it's tricky.
hear like people who know, like, are these surveys really anonymous? Like if you do it through like Survey Monkey, or if you do it through another survey platform, like, are they not? Obviously, there's a way to trace all these surveys. It goes to your email. Or
There's got to be a way on the back end, like from a development
totally.
standpoint,
If you really want to know,
if
you
you
could figure it out.
really want to know, but we've done Survey Monkeys before. Is that what it's called?
Mhm.
I feel like that sounds really weird.
Because you said Survey Monkeys.
Oh,
I
I
don't
pluralized the monkeys and it
know.
shouldn't be. It's like Survey Monkey. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we did surveys through Survey Monkey and we couldn't tell who it was, right?
No.
But to your point, maybe if you called in to the company, maybe you could probably figure out like which computer router, right?
Yeah, if
Computer,
you
what is it? The
really wanted to
HP
find out
address or something?
HTTP,
Uh,
I don't know.
yeah.
I'm not a super techie
Oh, I'm
person.
not sounding techie at all right now.
Survey Monkeys. But yeah, no, that's interesting. And I would love to hear like some experts on this topic. Like, are they really anonymous? Can we find out who? I mean, I would like to, if people are trusting that it's anonymous, like why go through all that and like try to find out who wrote it? Because like they're trusting you. You're trying to build that trust.
Yeah.
But are they, or
But
are they
but
not?
you know that there's probably some organizations out there that
Oh yeah.
do want to know who thinks
Oh,
what.
100%.
Yeah. So I would
Mhm.
say if you are asked to take an anonymous survey from your workplace, be mindful. Be mindful of what you're marking down. Think to yourself, and I actually try to use this in my personal life. If someone was to ask me this in person,
Right. Would you say it?
would I say it to them?
Yeah,
Right? Would I actually articulate this and how would I say it and then respond accordingly?
totally. I think that's a
Mhm.
great way to think of it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, great. I feel like we debunked those myths, hopefully, or at
Uh-huh.
least we conversated about them.
Conversated.
We conversed about them. We
We
talked
are
about
so ready for
them.
golf right now. We're like, see
I know.
ya.
I think it's Friday. We're ready for golf. We're gonna peace out of here now. That was so much fun. Thank you all, and until next time.
Live bold and boss up.